Hi guys, welcome to my channel, and today we will talk about semester first assignments for the subject financial accounting. This is specifically for April 2023 cycle, so don't get confused with our regular June cycle because June cycle is also live, so don't get confused with the regular cycle. So April cycle is applicable for those students who might not able to submit their assignments in the previous cycle, or might be submitted the assignments but get a copy case and have not cleared that particular subject. So for all those students, they will get the assignments in their list on the NMIMS portal, so you can refer to this. If I talk about the financial accounting subject, then it's completely a numerical based assignment. Yes, you can find few questions where you can just only need to write theory, but if we talk about the numerical questions, then there you will find many questions where they are given some kind of problem statement, and you just need to find the answers or of the numericals using a certain kind of formula. So some students are asking me, sir, in this case we are getting only 200, 300 or 400 words, so don't directly jump to directly writing the answers which is being asked, or the problem statement. Just make sure write enough content that will suffice both the things. One, it should contain enough content and it should be correct one, right? So in this video we can see that what content needs to be written, what stuff you can write in your assignments, and how you can score the maximum marks out of these 30 marks. So firstly, quickly see, similar to the other subjects, we are having the three questions: first, second, third A and third B, right? So if I talk about the three questions, each question is of 10 marks, and the word count is 1,000 words. There are two concepts. One is plagiarism and copy case, so don't share your assignments with anyone. And second is plagiarism, so try to write the answers in your own words. Again, some questions students are asking me the queries, okay, sir, the formula will remain the same. Obviously, if you are calculating, you can say the assets or liabilities, or you are just defining any ledger or journal entry, then it will remain the same. So guys, don't worry, that won't come under the copy case. That's what I am saying, that don't directly jump in writing the answer, because if you directly write the answers, then there is a possibility that your answer and some other students answer match for all the four questions, and you will get a copy case, right? So make sure write enough content before to the problem statement and after the problem statement, so that it will be unique and different from the other students, right? So if I talk about this particular assignment for April 2023 cycle, if you see at the top, it's April 2023 cycle. So if you see the first question is a completely numerical based, second is theoretical based, third one is again, third A is numerical based, and third B is a theoretical one. So 50% is the numerical part and 50% is the theoretical part. So let's see each of the question one by one and see what content you can find from the book and what's the best answer you can write. So let's jump to our first question. The first question seems to be very straightforward. Prepare a journal entry by recording the following transactions, where you have provided the five transactions for 3rd December, 5th December, 7th December, 8th and 10th December. Mrs. Vinita started the business by transferring the amount from the saving account to the business bank account. So let's see what needs to be written, and after that we can see that how you can just solve this numerical statement. So firstly, you just need to refer to the page number 23. So this is your book. I am just directly jumping to the page number 23. Think it's on page number, yeah, it's 23, where it's mentioned about general, right? So in the question is being asked about the general, so don't directly jump in writing the answer. Just see, okay, this is a journal. You just have an understanding, okay, what the journal is actually about. So you just need to give a brief about the journal, and after that on page number, or maybe you can just write the steps, that how these steps and how we can just write any journal entry. You can write, and after that in the question it is being given the, again, it's the similar kind of things where multiple transactions are being provided in the question, and this is the way how these are being solved. If it's one illustration which is given in your book, like started with the business with cash, purchase stationery, so you can just refer to these. Or maybe let's quickly see what are being asked. So the very first one is Mrs. Vinita started a business by transferring the amount from saving account to the business bank account of rupees 5 lakh. So it's simply a cash transfer or the capital gain, where the debit is 55 lakhs and the credit credit is again 5 lakh. Then second one is the purchase the go down to the stock goods of worth rupees 10 lakh. So it's a purchase account where debit is from the cash being the goods are being purchased. Then the third one is purchases goods for sale costing around rupees 3 lakh. Again, it's a purchase account where you are debiting to the cash account being the goods being purchased. After that, she sold off the entire goods at rupees 5 lakh, the credit sales. So it's a debtors account, where it's a debtor to the sale, debit to the sale, and being the goods being received on credit. And last but not the least, about the salary to the employees, rupees 25,000, sorry, 20,000 to the bank account. So salary account where the DR is to the bank statement, right? So this is the way. So it's being clearly mentioned over there. So you can use a similar approach to just prepare one general entry which is being asked in the question. So this way you can just give a brief about the journal as well as solve the numerical. So these two things are required for the first question. Now let's move to the second question. The second question states the company Dream High Private Limited wants to distribute the dividend to its shareholders. There are two types of dividend in which a shareholder there are two types of dividend in which a shareholder can receive in an accounting year. Discuss the term dividend, its types, accounting treatment of dividend in the books of account, and a brief towards how the cash flow of account of dividend is reflected in the cash flow of a company. So it's completely theoretical based where you need to write about the dividend and number of stuff. So let's see what needs to be written, which page numbers to be referred. So firstly, you need to go to the page number 138, 7.21, where we are talking about the dividend. Firstly, you need to brief about the dividend is basically the distribution of profits to its shareholders. Then we are having two types of dividend. You need to explain. One is the interim dividend, which is paid during the during the financial year, and the second one is the final dividend, which is proposed to be paid to the shareholders for a particular financial year, right? So these are the two types of dividend. Then we need to specify about the cash flow treatment of dividends. So you need to refer to the page number 151, treatment of the special accounts. Here it's mentioned the treatment of dividends. So it's mentioned that the cash flow from the dividends received and paid are disclosed separately. This is the complete way. You can just write it down, just read it and write it down. And last but not the least, there's one format which is being given in the book. If I'm not sure, on the page number 153, and you will find some dividend part, right? So you need to make sure maybe you can just draw the complete table, or maybe you can just specify only this part where you can just specifying the dividend being received, dividend being paid, which is coming under the part of investing and the financing activities, right? So this is the way. Or you can use a direct method where there is something mentioned the dividend received, you can just specify dividend received and the dividend pay. So you can just show it in a trigonometrical in the tabular format. That will always be helpful in scoring one additional marks. So just go ahead with that and just write the second question. Now moving to our third question. In third we are having the two parts, third A and third B. Again, we just mentioned I'm just mentioning the third A is a pretty much numerical base. It's a 500 marks, so no need to write much in detail. Stick to 500 or 520 or 550 words maximum. Following are the particulars available for the Z and X LLP: retained earnings, accounts receivable, supplies, salaries payable, equipment, unearned revenue, accounts payable, cash, prepaid insurance, and the common stock. So these are the different, I think, 10 terms which are being asked. And after that, we need to calculate the amount for the total assets, liabilities, and the stakeholders' equity. So as you are aware about the formula which are being used, it's assets plus liability equals to the stakeholders equity. This is formula which we are used commonly, and those who are from finance background, they are pretty much aware. So firstly we see what needs to be written. So go to the page number 174. I think it's going to the page number 174, sorry. I think it's being wrongly mentioned. I think I have just missed out writing the correct one. So assets liabilities were given a little bit early in the book. I think I have just missed out writing the correct statement. So I think I just found it somewhere. Yeah. So it was not on page number 174, 172. Sorry, it was a my bad. So you just need to refer to the page number 5. On page number 5, we are having the different accounting statements. One is asset. So you can just write about the what is asset. Then next comes as the liability, and the third one is the capital or owner's equity. So you can just specify these things, and after that you need to solve the numerical based on your understanding. So let's quickly see what covers under the which part. So let's see one by one. So if I talk about the first term that comes under the account, so if you talk about the asset, so asset comes retained earnings. Yeah, sorry, accounts receivable is a part. So let's see one by one. Maybe the retained earnings comes under the part of liability. The second is accounts receivable that comes under the asset. Then the third one comes as the supplies. So supplies is again a part of your asset. Then next one comes as the salary payable, that would be your liability. Then next part comes equipment, which is your asset. Then next is unearned revenue, is again your asset. Then next one is accounts payable, that would be your liability. Then next is cash, is your asset. Then next part comes as the prepaid insurance, that is again your asset. And last is about the common stock, which is your part of your asset. So most of the terms belongs to asset. Only I think retained earnings, salary payable, and your accounts payable comes under your liability, right? And how you can just calculate the shareholders equity, it will be total assets minus total liability, right? Because assets plus liability, so assets equals to, you can just easily calculate, use the formula to just calculate the assets and liability plus stakeholders equity. So if you just subtract both the values, then you will get the stakeholders equity. This is the formula. So this is pretty much straightforward. Then last but not the least comes the part of the advantages of the preparing the balance sheet. So let's see what needs to be referred. So going to the page number 38. So if I go to the page number 38, the very first thing is you need to introduce about the balance sheet. What is balance sheet? Again, the formula which we were discussing in the previous question, like asset equals to liabilities plus owner's capital. So you just need to brief about what is balance sheet. Then you need to explain the balance sheet examples. There's nothing in the book which is directly mentioned and okay, these are the advantages, but yes, you can easily use the page number 39, where you have mentioned it reveals the financial position of an entity. It sets out the liabilities and assets are economical. So if you read the one or two paragraphs, you can get an understanding. Okay, these are the few advantages of the balance sheet, and you can just mention these stuff. Last but not the least comes on the page number 40, where you can just draw the balance sheet in the horizontal format or maybe in the vertical format, whichever suits you, just to give an additional example. Again, I just mentioned that that would be helpful in getting additional 1 marks. Let's make sure don't exceed the total count of words exceeding 500 words. So I think these are the all three questions which are being asked, and you can just easily write it down. And still, if you have any doubts or facing any issue, feel free to just connect to me at ngasc.mba@gmail.com. And if you like this video, do like, do subscribe, and stay connected for further videos. Thank you so much.